Yeah, people wake up. The clones are here with synthetic skin, so real it could even fool you. Stop falling for their tricks.
Just like I said, can I answer any questions? What is it all about? Well, we're a company that produces 100% organic human sleeves. You're probably wondering what's a human sleeve. Well, if you gather around, I can
answer. I think a lot of testing that we really don't know about.
We watched a clip here not that long ago of a guy that was with the FBI for about 25 years by the name of John D'Souza. And actually a number of his cases became the storylines for some of the X-Files stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so come to find out, I'd say that a large majority of what we call UFOs are actually Earth-based, whether it's our government or another government that has this stuff out there. But there are the ones that slip through too, that are things that they don't have any idea where they're from or whatever. But like I said, there is no right answer or wrong answer on that, because your opinion is your opinion, and until the day that either one lands in your front yard or whatever, then that totally works. I think that it's interesting. He made not John D'Souza, but obviously God made a pretty big, mysterious, wild world that we live in. And
that's a fact.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And when you said testing for a second, I thought you were like kind of going towards another avenue there. I, to a degree, well, actually, there's no doubt in my mind, I think to a degree it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Especially in light of the fact of where we're at in this day and age in history. We're so close to what people would call or consider the end, that I don't think that anything that comes along anymore is that much of a surprise. Out of curiosity, have you heard anything about the Euphrates River recently?
Drying up?
Okay.
I have.
Now, have you seen any of the videos online about it?
I haven't. I haven't looked them up because I never know what's legit, what's not. So I always have a tough time watching them, but I've heard a lot of talk about it lately.
There's a number of videos actually, and how this lines up with especially not only the Christian faith but also the Islam. There's a lot of prophecies from especially those two major religions based around the Euphrates River.
Yeah,
it's under, because I'm not sure if you'd have to remember this. Underneath the Euphrates River, it's bound there, right?
Well, it says Satan himself, correct?
Four fallen angels.
Yeah, okay. I got this mixed up.
Right. And so when the river dries up is when they're going to be released.
Yeah.
Now, if this is the one I think it is, this is really creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
there's a really good quote. There's a really good one of it right below that on the shorts.
Is there?
Yeah, see, go down, scroll down. See it right there on the left?
No, we're going to watch this one right now.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. And this is by Rick Grebnick.
Grebnick? Yeah, watch this shit. Am I muted?
What's that?
I was just saying, am I muted? Now you see it back there moving towards?
Yeah.
Tap your screen a couple times and blow it up a little bit.
You can just barely start to make it out.
Right. It's over the chair. Can you hear the guy talking?
It's on video, it's playing right now. I put the iPad in the window and now this thing's coming up to the steps in my backyard. It's like a weird demonic looking thing, and it's like a human. And it's all stretched out, and this is the second time this happened this week. And as I'm talking to you, this is all on recorded. And it doesn't see me. I'm in that sunroom. put the iPad up as far up, and it was the weird thing has been happening around this time at night. And everybody, you're on record. Everything's recording now. I can see the thing. It's like looking around weird. Is it? Is that playing the video? Yeah, right now it's on the video. It doesn't. I'm sitting back, but I can still see out the window really good. You still see it? No, I can't, but it's looking around like something out of a weird side. Like, this thing is freaky. It's on. It's a human form. Wait till you see the video. I got it on video.
I would so move.
I'd be plugging it with a shotgun.
I'd be out of there the next day.
I'd be emptying a 12 gauge on it, guaranteed.
Oh my god, it's like, you should see this thing, like, oh my god, like a garden. It's like a garden.
Why isn't he on the phone with the cops?
It's like 35.
They probably think he's crazy.
Backyard. Hey, by the time it gets this, it'll be gone, and I'll look like a lunatic.
Yeah, dude's yeah. Dude's not. Dude starts praying.
Jesus, literally.
He does over the phone, and it backs away and leaves.
The whole thing right now is that man's recording everything you do, and this thing.
Shit out of it.
That would be freaky, man.
Yeah.
It's looking, oh my gosh.
I have a very poor visual of it, but I can't see its physical out features just because it's so small. But I can see it.
Have you tapped the screen 2 times?
I got it. I'm on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on mine. I'm on my phone.
And even with it blown up, though, you still can't see it extremely well. You can't make out a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Okay. I can just see it. He's telling me what it is, right?
Now it's walking off.
Yeah.
I got it now.
But I don't think it's leaving yet.
What, like it comes back up?
Wait till you see this thing. Just pray it. This is really freaking me out because 3 nights ago I laid on the couch. I heard something open the door and walk through the sunroom, and I'm laying on the couch.
No way.
And as I woke up, it was like gone. It was like it shot back through real quick. And I know I heard the door. Then 2 nights ago,
You can kind of see movement in the background, just barely.
Yeah, it's still back there. There's a solid fence wall.
I got 2 minutes on tape on video. Like, yeah, so it's like everything you're saying here now. When I play you back.
Minutes after this break. So what we'll do is we'll shoot on to the next video. And this.
All right.
Okay, there's some weird kind of trippy ones that we're going to watch tonight, obviously. This being one of them.
For the damn place again tonight. You're gonna keep walking towards it.
I've seen this one.
This is a little trippy.
We can actually get the capture something here.
He's a lot braver or stupider than I would imagine.
Right. There's one on top of his house too.
Is it really?
Yeah. And then there's a carcass of like a deer or something up there.
Need to leave. Stay out of this place.
This is where he shoots the gun.
He sounds native to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is our home. Need to leave.
Yeah, the video I saw, he was lit. Something was on the roof, and he goes, "She's hearing it again." And this time I heard it. Walks outside, looks up on the roof, sees it over the peak of the roof, and then to the left sees a carcass sitting on his roof.
Really?
A carcass.
Yeah.
Keep it away for a while.
But it's the same person.
There's roadkill on my roof.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
That's what it would be like. What?
There's a rib cage on my roof.
Okay, that doesn't show the part that you were talking about in that.
No, but it's the same. It's the same guy, same place.
Okay.
So there must be a part 2.
Did it say where? I don't think it said where it was.
No.
Okay. So, Robin, were you able to see the glint of the eyes in the background?
No, you could see it.
Right.
They were tiny.
Are you expanding your screen, Robin?
I don't know if I did.
Or did
On the phone, I just tap it twice and it gets bigger. Tap it twice, it gets bigger again.
Okay. We're good.
Okay.
And 4.
Jeff, well, what do you? I wouldn't.
Well, I have theories on these things, and I would say.
Anyway, so yeah, Diggler, did you catch that footage?
Yeah, I did. I've seen that.
What do you think it might have been?
I put a shirt on. All right.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know.
Virtue.
Look like a monkey to me.
Okay. Well, Shazam, it very easily, and it could be.
Sit down.
Yeah, it could be Shazam. And they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna put anything they want to on these just to get people to watch them. Obviously,
Sure they are.
This one, Trunk Monkey sent to me today, and I've seen this one, but not all the footage that you'll see here in just a second.
The video was found in a box that Rob said. Looks like it's just a bunch of footage from. It's pretty weird here at this point. This guy's out hiking in the woods, filming. Looks like it's a Super 8 camera. His dog starts spooking out and catches a scent, and he turns the camera over, trying to figure out what the dog sees. And then he ends up singing out. Look at that.
Yeah, this was debunked. The guy admitted it.
Was it?
I've seen a video where the guy says, or somebody says they're the guy, and they admitted to making that. But I'll tell you what, the way that animal moves, or that creature moves, it's pretty convincing.
It doesn't move like a normal one. Although to me, it still looks like a chow.
Yeah.
That's how I'm entertained.
I guess it was a ghillie.
It was a what?
A ghillie suit or something like that, I think.
Okay.
Like an Ewok.
But the first thing though, that I don't know if anybody else noticed this, the first part of the video is all in snow, and then he flips over onto that, and there's no snow on the ground at all.
Yeah, that was a couple different videos.
So
Bad editing.
Really poor editing. But maybe they didn't have green screen Photoshop on YouTube at that point in time.
Nope.
Okay, so that one is definitely debunked. I'd like to think if any of us were to do one of those videos, that we'd at least do a better job of it than that.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I did it early on.
I think
I did. Yes, that's right.
Well, actually, collectively, we haven't all been together for a number of months anyway. So
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. Actually, James, I think the last time you might have been on was when we talked with Johnny Vatos.
Yes.
Exactly.
Wow. So Halloween.
That was a while.
Okay. Yeah,
Hey.
Johnny Vatos. Well, I invited Brendan McCurry from Oingo Boingo former members tonight, but I don't know that he'll make it or not. So anyway.
Wow.
I love your bedazzling lights.
They are bejazzling.
They're very bedazzling.
He had me at the ears.
My little kitten loves them.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. These and the bejazzling lights were both purchased the same day at Party City.
Okay, there you go.
They were having a sale on Disco and Disney.
Disco Disney. Hey,
Disco Disney.
cuties that you can't go without.
Well, you could, and some of us have actually done rather well without them in our lives. But anyway,
I'm kidding. It's the sign.
What's that?
I think it's a sign.
It-
We're getting ready to do things we are done with again.
Yeah, I've got to watch I've got to watch how many times I use the D word, because then I'll get a bill in the mail or a lawsuit thrown on my door. So
Right, we should just replace
Replace the mouse. We could replace the mouse. He's a poor little mouse though. That's why entry is so expensive in the parks. So how was everybody's cryptid week? Anybody got any cool news to share? Anything weird, funky, out of the norm happen or hear about?
I just found out that as of January, I think it was the 1st, that they the NDA law, whatever you call it,
okay.
All non-disclosed from like military, stuff people can't talk about, basically.
Right.
And they're written and sworn is
Right.
null and void. None of it stands anymore. They can do and say anything they want to say. Yes, they can.
Without waiting for any time to pass.
That's right. The time has passed.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a total game changer.
That's going to be handy for. Yeah, it is. It is.
Because
Sure
that
is.
was one of the reasons why Bob Lazar was so quiet for so long.
He's getting a little louder, isn't he?
I've noticed that, and that's the reason why. You think?
Yes.
Pawns are like the lower vibrational entities, and they're the ones that, like, they're like the minions of the demons or the fallen ones. And like the fallen ones, like, they all had their own hierarchy, because like each one of them was assigned a specialty, a proficiency that they showed the, like, females, and they showed man, like everything from like how to, like, paint your faces with makeup to making armor and weapons, and even like herbs and medicine and pharmacology.
Yeah.
And everything, so yeah, it's fascinating stuff. And I find it how what's his John D. and Edward Casey, how they came across the Enochian alphabet, which is supposedly the language of the fallen angels. And then of course you got
What alphabet is that?
the Enochian, like Enoch, Enochian,
Oh, okay.
Enochian alphabet. Yeah, and it's been like studied by like Oxford scholars, and Prince, like all the big wigs, and like they're perplexed by it, because it's like one of those perfect, mathematically it's perfect. It's just like a perfect language. There's no way like it's some mortal man could come up with this by himself.
Right.
Wow. So where is this? Like, where is it? It's in the Book of Enoch.
No, it's let's see here. It's called well, Edward Casey and John Dee discovered it, I think, at the turn of the 18th century or somewhere around then, because John Dee was Elizabeth I astrological advisor. He was basically a warlock, John Dee was. And they were scrying and doing like dabbling in the dark arts and alchemy and that kind of stuff, and hermetics and whatnot, and they were scrying and speaking to these they're kind of like archons. They were a lower vibrational.
What you saw, they're gonna look you crazy, so I tend to keep it to myself until I talk to other people that believe in that stuff.
Right.
But I mean, I remember one time when we were moving from Florida, we were right on the border of Mexico.
Okay.
And my mom, I remember her waking me and my sister up while we were driving and saying that she sees these weird lights. And there were like 3 of them. And I remember looking out the window and seeing them. I'm like, Mom, those are just the windmills. She's like, no, baby, those aren't windmills. And as soon as she says they're not windmills, all 3 lights went different directions.
No.
Freaked me out. So anytime I go to Mexico,
wow,
because we have a timeshare in Mexico, so we go every summer.
Okay.
I'll go sit out on my balcony out of our hotel, and I'll just look at the sky, hoping I see something. Because they normally say, like, there's the ocean, you can see weird things, and we have the ocean view. So I'll sit up my patio, looking at the ocean, going, man, I always see glowing lights come out of the ocean. But like I said, I believe there's something else out there, and whoever doesn't believe that, I mean, I don't want to call you crazy, but you know, I don't see us being the only place that has life.
Right. Actually, and you just said it, and I'm glad that you did, because crazy is a good phrase that used to be used on people that believed in this kind of thing, along with the whole idea that, you know, the tinfoil hats and, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas now it's almost so commonplace that it's not as far of a stretch, and the people that are seeing these things are actually of good reputation. You know, whether it be because the Pentagon released a bunch of material or not. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely gone from like nobody talks about it to, hey, you know, it could, you know, yeah, it very well could be. Because there's now one thing about online stuff though, you know, kudos to the TikTok filmmakers, but oh my gosh, some of them are like creating these videos that are just like, I don't know if it's legit or if it's not. And some of them, if they are legitimate, then I want off of this ride, because things are like, some of this stuff is like freaky.
Yeah. It's the way, so I think about it all the time, and I've told my wife this too. I was like, you know, with Earth having, you know, a human population, you know, humans, you know, we want to be out there. We want people to know we're out here. I was like, but then you see everything that's going on our planet, you know, pollution, murder, war. I was like, no wonder these things, if there is life out there, they keep to themselves. Like if we go to Mars, we don't see anything. It's like, why would we want to be involved with what you guys are involved? We see how crazy your planet is. We don't.
The GPT AIs that are having conversations and writing theses.
But they're not writing on organic material. They're just writing on, they're writing out their whatever. They're not writing, they're not overwriting organic material. Are we going to be able?
There's no way.
Is that the real feasibility? Can we overwrite organic material?
But can we override download on inorganic, which those things look pretty inorganic? Like
they're not. I mean, they're living, breathing tissue. So
what is
the sleeves that they're talking about?
Okay, yeah,
so
right.
If we're talking about people in general, and you talk about trying to reprogram people, you're just talking about overbearing assholes. How does that work, right? We're gonna I'm gonna reprogram you, Robin, by doing this program. You already have your infinitesimal fucking reactions to whatever.
Yeah.
How can I rewrite your whole program as organic brain?
You know, they're at this point right now. How do we know they're not doing that already? Like these mass shootings and stuff like that? It's got to be something that's manipulable. In the people.
Maybe they're trying to manipulate those people to be a certain way, and then they just snap. You know, it's
well,
just
there
like
are the wavelengths, or the what is it, the frequencies that they can use, that actually they for decades have been,
and they haven't. Yes.
And now that 5G is totally, you know, all over the place, they're capable of doing a lot more damage to already predisposed situations.
Have you touched on or heard anything about the blue light?
But they can't control us totally. They can't. They're not that pinpointed. But they might be able to trigger some event, and then you do something stupid. It's like, oh, triggered event, and I went and fucking got a toy up my butt, but it didn't work. That's not what they wanted me to do. I ended up in the ER, and That's a bad thing
for
for me.
Producing more energy. And the minute you see him, and I have had an uncle who saw him in Mount Rainier and only told me this within inside of 10, 15 years. He said, Jeff, I saw it. I looked at Cliff, which is his cousin. He says, and then we looked back and it was gone. But he's got a big nose like mine. He goes, Jeff, but I could still smell it.
Yeah.
Meaning it
How close?
Perceive it. And the minute you become afraid, the door shuts and you can't see it. And it is now capable of moving wherever it wants to and technically doing what. And this is what happens with victims that are blackouts in a victimizational situation in any condition. So what this thing does is it basically makes them black out, and this is an alien abduction scenario too. They black out
because if you know 411, then that could be it.
Right, because they just flop over because it just paralyzed. They don't know how to relate to it. It's
also what do they call that? The lower structured vibration that's sent off by predators. That tigers. Huh?
And that's a technique. See, people talk about fight or flight, but they don't talk about paralysis.
Yeah, what's that method called that lions use?
Satan is sat. So by its technique, by the word Satan, it's trying to paralyze. It's trying to stop movement. And fear stops movement in the aspect of humanity and all of its ability to connect.
I don't know what the term is. I know what you're talking about. I just don't know.
Oh God, what's it called?
Anyway,
infrasound.
Okay.
Infrasound. It's a low vibrational sound, which is very apparent, like bass, right? But it's lower, and what it does is it causes the body to disrupt and not operate properly. It stifles immediate reaction to flight for like gazelles and stuff. And cats, big cats do this. They literally do this. They say that Bigfoot does it.
Yeah, and it's when I
paralyzes
wanted to say,
you.
Yeah, and this is a weird thing. I said this because when.
Okay, well, maybe my light just burned out. I'll just call it good with that. Anyway, PepsiCo was one of the companies that was under fire because they were supposedly using something about kidneys from aborted fetuses.
Yeah.
And because what it does is it builds the taste receptors in our mouths.
Holy crap, that's some deep shit.
But now, granted, I don't really watch the news at all for a number of reasons, but this one totally slipped by me because I hadn't heard anything about that at all. Do you remember?
How long ago was this?
What's that?
How long ago was this?
It was going on for like a good year or so, the whole debate over it. And I think that the last anything that I saw on it was from like either 2021 or 2022. So this is all pretty recent. And then, of course, then you get the fact-checking reports, which say that it was a bunch of BS and that, they wouldn't do anything like that. But, so, yeah.
Sure they wouldn't.
I'm sorry?
Sure they wouldn't.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, if I'm doing something bad, I'm not going to tell you I'm doing something bad. I'm going to, try and steer you the opposite direction. Especially, too, when you stop and figure the amount of money that these companies have, running through their financial veins.
Well, I think it was like 10 years ago, McDonald's got in trouble because someone found kangaroo meat in their burgers.
Okay, McDonald's
I think this was actually in Australia this happened.
Now, are kangaroos protected down there?
I don't think they are. I think they're pretty much fair game, I believe.
That's what I thought too. And actually, I think they're almost considered a nuisance down there, if I've heard right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And speaking of kangaroos in Australia, Oz is with us. Oz, how are you?
Yeah, we're talking about kangaroo fighting.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
There you go.
Nice. Organized.
Oz, have you met Trent? So does it appear again?
Well, it's starting to come forward again, I think.
Why
Then
don't
dude starts
word it and
then dude starts praying and it backs out.
Oh,
and
I
bounces.
see it. No, I see it.
Yeah, it's fun looking.
Isn't that just like I don't want that in my yard?
Oh my God, there it is, Mike and T-Max. Oh my gosh. This thing is looking weird. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It knows something's going on, man. This thing is, oh my God.
Wow.
No kidding. Night, night.
Wow. I just totally got chills.
That's like you want to go to bed and like hey, time to go to bed. That's about the time your parents go. Time to go to bed. And you're like, what?
Let's go camp out in the yard.
Oh my gosh.
That freaky, you have never seen that, huh? That right there's got your hairs raised, doesn't it?
Do you know what the similarities between aliens and demons and all these sightings are?
Yeah.
They're 99.9%, and I say not always, but 99.9% they are at night, and they always evoke fear.
Yeah,
And
they always natural fear.
Yeah.
And it's not natural fear. I say natural because like we are identifying something that we can identify. And
You don't know
there's no way
why.
to
Yeah.
Right. And its motive is either sending off this negative motive. So
Yeah.
this is the chicken and egg thing. Is it us and this is, I want to talk about the Bigfoot effect, and this has something to do with what we're talking about. How can some people see it and not?
Yep.
What happens is fear. The minute you become afraid, it creates a perceptual barrier. When you see a Bigfoot, and he is huge, his being in essence by its natural form is larger than yours.
Not sepia. Sepia, yeah. It was in sepia as well. I always kind of like sepia.
Nice
Was that UFOs like one of those those long tube UFOs?
No, they were the ones shooting up out of the volcano. Yeah. But now, one other thing that John did say on the interview, and I'll try and have that available for us on the next session, is for tomorrow, is so many of the UFOs that we're thinking are extraterrestrial aren't.
I know the one I seen. The one that I talked to L.A. Marzulli, and he said he personally thought that was one of our reverse engineered ones, and that was the big black triangle that shined in my friends.
Wait, you talked to L.A. Marzulli?
Oh, the
Phoenix Lights. When?
Oh, it's been about almost a year. It's been about a year now. I've talked to him 3 or 4 times.
Get out.
He answers my emails.
How was it that it was a year ago and you didn't invite him onto the show?
Well, because he's a very busy man.
I could care less. We have a thing in a jar to talk about. If you guys remember, we were halfway through an episode. I just have been watching these because I've been turning these ones into reels. We were halfway through a show talking about his book, Nephilim Hybrids.
Yeah.
Because the cover had a fairy in a jar. I all thought it was real. And I'm all talking it up and everything. It was fake.
Was he? I remember seeing that, but I don't remember the outcome. Was he representing that, or was he calling it?
I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that we found out halfway through the show that it was a hoax.
Okay.
That actually made for better programming than the original one itself. So
I think I remember the content of that.
Yeah, because we were all talking it up, and then we run across an article where it's like Marzulli admitted that something or other, and it's just like out. But no, he would have been a fun guy to have on the show though, just because we could ask him, about his lies.
I didn't expect that reaction from him. It was like, whoa.
Wow, yeah, no doubt. What an interesting person to run into, though.
Yeah, man, he's got a lot to say.
Yeah, I'll bet he does. Lies. Watch the old HLT episodes. Halfway through an episode, LA Marzulli, you screwed us. I could have done some research first, but I didn't. So that falls on I don't know if Oz or Diggler remember when we were talking about giants last year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. DJ Duckie ain't buying any of it. Which I think is interesting because as I've been watching some of the old shows, going back and putting reels up, you know, I caught an episode where Jeff, DJ Duckie, used to get the World's Book of Guinness Records every year when he was still in school. And they had stuff like that. They had the pictures of like the giants and stuff, like some of the skeletal remains and all that. And he doesn't either seem to remember that.
The Smithsonian.
Well, even the Bible has stories of giants in it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Lovelock, Arizona, read up the story about Lovelock, Arizona, which is not far from Tombstone. They found like dozens of bodies of people who were 9 and 10 feet tall. That's historical proof. They have evidence, and they had shoes. Huh?
I thought I was going to say something, but you're not finished. Go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
No, it's just Loveless, Arizona, and it's by Tombstone, and they had shoes that had like size 18 or 24-inch shoes. I forget exactly what they were size-wise. They were monsters, and they said the people that wore those shoes had to be 9 to 11 feet tall. And they said they had skeleton bones. I mean, this was all collected during the time that the Hopi Indians or somebody was out there. And the giant bodies that they found had red hair. And those Indian tribes had red hair. And the squaws from the Indian tribe were talking about how these things would come and have sex with them. And this is all historical stuff.
Around the turn of the century is when the Smithsonian stepped in and they started sweeping it all under the carpet because they were buying up everything. They were buying up everything that they could possibly get their hands on to basically erase any current talk or. But I mean, you can take common sense will smooth that out for you.
But as we've been talking about this, so I think more people, if it's anything out of the norm, more people are probably prone to just either push it off, push it aside, or they don't even want to wrap their minds around it because it is that far out of the norm and it is that wacky that it can't be real. I don't know. It all just boggles.
Eyes to hear.
What's that?
Eyes to see, ears to hear. There's not everybody's granted with that, and that's what God said. You know, there's going to be those that have the eyes to see what's going on and the ears to hear what's going on around them. Not everybody's going to be granted that luxury, if you want to call it a luxury. Some are going to stay completely, no matter nothing short of nothing could change their mind or make them see what's going on. That's just the way it is.
Right. Yeah, and I think a lot of this is just we're still kind of at the beginning of it. I saw a video actually a few days ago that really bothered me, and it was about giants. And that was one of the reasons why I included the Gilgamesh clip in there. There were a lot more giants, I think, in the past than we probably even realize.
Look at Noah's flood. You know why that happened, right? Or are you aware of why that happened?
Yeah. In fact, this video that I saw said, yes, man had become wicked. True. But it was because of, or one of the main reasons why God sent the flood was to destroy the Nephilim.
Yeah, Noah was literally the last of a pure pedigree. The last family of pure pedigree. He literally.
Okay.
That's how rancid the world got again.
Right. But I think when we think...
Any more Vashon stories?
Vashon stories or Stormy? Do you have
It's a funny little island, that's for sure.
Either way.
Now, what do you mean?
You know,
funny
when
little
I'm
island?
thinking about strange things in the Pacific Northwest, depending on what it is, not Sasquatch, but some of the homes, some of the other things, I gotta wonder what they're doing with harp up in Alaska.
Yeah. You guys
That's always been
familiar
a
with
little
that?
bit fishy with me.
Are you familiar with HAARP?
I cannot remember what it stands for. It's HAARP.
It is AARP.
Supposed to be, it's HAARP, and it's supposed to be shut down now, but when it was running, it was supposed to be a weather station.
Right.
Something to do with the weather, right?
Right. When did it shut down?
You know, I just looked it up recently, and they shut it down. I'm gonna lose you guys if I look this up.
Because I thought they were still up and running.
I thought so too until the last time I looked it up, and I'm kind of a conspiracy nut, so I check these things from time to time.
Then I need to
High
know who's
frequency
behind the
active
weather.
auroral research program.
Who's controlling the
What
weather?
kind of weather station is it?
Well, they're seeding the clouds. They're doing a lot of that.
They're supposedly they're doing an ionospheric research program,
Right, it was under.
and that's why they're doing it there, because it's not the ionosphere at that point. You're not going to run into like a lot of issues
Right.
if you're trying to do research that way. But, and I don't know that I believe that's really what it is. I think there's too much to it and too much we don't know about it, and it's an awfully powerful thing. And
More than we realize, yeah.
oh, okay, let me correct myself. As of October this year, it looks like they were supposed to be conducting about 13 experiments in a couple of weeks. So maybe it's not, maybe it opened back up.
Okay. 13 experiments. That's wow.
But it's a super high-powered, like frequency generator.
It would have to be able to control the weather.
Is it to help support the 5G?
No, this was put into place
Well-
way before 5G was even conceived.
Yeah.
The thing-
This is what's trippy, and you made a good point. And I take it, especially with this podcast of ours, we've already gotten duped a couple of times. And with TikTok filmmakers out there, man, it is so hard to tell what's legit and what's not. Oh my gosh.
So bad.
But there's been videos. Actually, if I can find a couple of clips, maybe I can send you the links. There's noises coming from underneath the riverbed.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Have you heard it yourself, or you've heard that's what's happening?
I've heard talk of that, and I've heard talk of, man, holes burrowed into the sidewalls of the rivers and all some weird stuff. Yeah.
The noises that we heard on these videos is, I have no idea what it is, but it sounds exactly like four things that have been chained down there for a few thousand years.
I'm a pretty big conspiracy theorist, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, nothing really comes as a surprise. It doesn't surprise me one bit. So,
No.
so I'm not, I believe it.
Okay, cool. See, one of the other reasons then that Nathan must have lined us up, because we've had this these are the conversations that I have with every single one of my guests, which is kind of cool, because I think this is also a question that not most of them have ever been asked before. So, and you know, there again, never a right answer, a wrong answer, because it's all based on experience. So with that in mind, let's kind of move it a little bit. Cryptids. Do you know what a cryptid is?
I can't say I do.
Okay, cryptozoology. Basically the study of animals that they haven't proved existed yet.
Okay.
So that would include our tall furry friend that hangs out in the woods of the Pacific Northwest and all around the world by the name of Sasquatch. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had any experience or encounter along those lines?
So, no, I haven't. Again, I have a lot of buddies who have said they've had experiences.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I've actually had an idea.
That's a nice hat.
pretending to be this guy named Darren. And so this is my homage to him.
You'll never pull it off.
You don't think so?
No.
Probably not, because he's a better actor than I am. Much, much better actor. Known for his, probably best known for his role as Carl Kolchak on the Night Stalker series back in the 1970s. See?
I guess so. Listen to you.
The only thing I don't have is the tie and the dirty jacket to go along with, and the camera bag. I'm really lacking in that department.
The camera bag.
So Oz, our former paranormal investigator, is on hand with us. Also, we've got Doug next door.
I know he's here, but I can't see him.
I know, and I'm not 100% sure that he is with us.
They speak in a strange way with almost hostile politeness. They're also completely hairless. They don't even have eyebrows. Their eyes are often described as hypnotic and having colors too strange to be natural. Another unsettling detail, they never blink, even during extremely long conversations, not even once. Virtually all witnesses claim that they were threatened to keep quiet by the men in black, and encounters are still being reported to this day. Who are they? Are they government agents or something even more sinister? What do you think? Thanks for watching and check.
And I would say that the negative, that here's where I've come to the conclusion. When people do horrible things, and they have done that since the beginning of time, what I'm saying is that this planet doesn't accept this negative energy. It usually gets rid of it, and it has piled up. And now the planet is trying to make stuff out of it. What? This negative energy. So the planet is always making, it's creating, it's causing things to be. So negative energy roaming around in globs, when you have large groups of people that are doing horrible stuff, anytime you create or commit an act and you disassociate, you black out, whether it's the victim or the individual, because the only way you can do these things is in separation. It opens up a dark vortex in the ground, in the individual's solar plexus, and in the victim's solar plexus, linking them to the position and taking that darkness everywhere with them because it's ridden with shame and guilt.
Well, if that's stated as factual, so to speak, when God created the flood to eliminate the Nephilim, Geber, all the giants, that souls are energy. They may not have been a soul created by him, but it's still it's a body, and it had to have had a soul because they're out there looking for more warmth of flesh. That's possession for you right there.
Use of blood, use of blood, the fear as a technique of control.
I think God would have foreseen that, because that would have created exactly what you're talking about.
And this is our. See, when I look at the word God, I want to identify. When you say the word God to Jeff, I say sun, earth, moon, and water.
Okay, I got you there. I say Yahweh, Yahweh. So
because I don't use a singularity because there's no singularity causing us to be.
You guys are about. We see how crazy your planet is. We don't want your craziness coming here.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, I don't know if you've heard this. This is an interesting thing that I keep hearing more and more about, is that they're possibly not from space. There's a good chance that they're from inside the Earth, like inside the Earth itself. Are you okay, well, if you've talked with friends about conspiracy theories, then Antarctica has had to have come up at one point or another.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the only reason why that came up is because I watched the movie King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
And Godzilla ends up going King Kong ends up going to Antarctica and goes through that tunnel in the snow and ends up in the core of the Earth.
See, and I haven't seen the movie yet, which is, so it's not like you're giving it. Really? Okay. Wow.
And so that's how our conversation started.
Okay.
So, that could be true. Maybe that, they're coming from the bottom of our Earth and they just stay there to keep to themselves, because like I said, up here it's just a bunch of chaos. And
right.
I mean, sometimes I wish I could dig a hole to the center of the earth and just disappear, because it's crazy up here.
I think that depending on how lightly you step in some places, you might just find a hole no matter what.
Touche.
Yeah. Gosh, we could talk about this for hours. Then I should actually not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Keep your head on.
Keep your head on?
Yeah.
Why?
No, it's just.
What do you mean?
Because. Oh, I don't know.
You want to watch it. I know you want. You've always got to be careful in another country, no matter what.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Please do.
No.
My buddy Corey Kane, he always used to say that my guitar solos, sometimes I would have so much delay on my guitar that he felt like he was on Dramamine.
I get it.
You get it?
Well, it's supposed to be the organic Dramamine.
Right.
Organic Dramamine, yes.
That's funny.
Induced by audio echo, just from the echoes of the delay.
I feel like I'm on LSD sometimes when you play.
I know. Thank you. Not trying to induce that, but I know I have flashbacks constantly listening to my music.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I seem to maintain, but some people just can't handle it.
I mean, they are giving people mushrooms now to enhance their mood. People with mass depression. Yeah.
Microdosing.
Yeah.
Microdosing. Yeah.
They're not.
I'd eat like the whole box in one sitting.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
We'd be having like some shamanistic, Carlos Castaneda's kind of experience,
Absolutely.
While all these little youngsters are running around like,
arm wrestling with the Dogman.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all drug talk aside. Hey, everybody. We're watching the Hook, Line, and Thinker podcast, April edition. I'm DJ Phoenix, coming to you out of Olympia, Washington. And with me tonight so far, I've got from Tacoma, but I'll also say from Vashon Island, because he's with the voice of Vashon, DJ Trent Kelly.
Hola.
How are you?
Very good. Very good.
Good.
You'll probably hear some meowing. I got a cat here that can't be pushed away.
Oh, is that what? Okay. I wasn't.
A pushy kitty.
Pushy kitty.